Now, this is going to be thought off the top because I'm not the type to always write. You already see how monotonous I am. I can't even read my own handwriting at times. So I think this is better because I always think better whenever I'm on the fly. So let's go over what happened. I mean, no, what I'm going to do today. And it's, of course, a top 10 list of why do I think Nia Jax suck. And obviously, do I have something against Nia Jax? Absolutely not. Do I want her to succeed like anybody else in the wrestling business? Absolutely. But over the past couple of years, it's just been haywire. Now she's unlikable on social media. She shows not to change physically or at least change mentally in the wrestling business. She seems unprofessional as hell. She obviously doesn't respect any of her workers in the business, and is absolutely careless in the ring. Once, twice, fuck it, 3 times. If it's a botch, fine. If you make this a constant occurrence year in and year out, there's something fucking wrong with you. Let's go over number 10. She's overweight. I'm gonna say overweight because making it say fat is just. She is sluggish. She seems to not have a figure that even. Like China, sure, not a lot of men might not be attracted there, but there was at least a look for China that's what made her at least a heightened appeal. A muscly, strong woman that can even hold her own against the men. Who doesn't want to see that? You have Nia Jax being like 300 fucking pounds, and she hides her own damn weight on the time whenever she hits the ring. That was one time ago. Uh, it's dishonest. She's already super super overweight. She doesn't even tries to change it. She doesn't even try to lose it. She had a double ACL tear that costed her over a year of her career. She came back of late like mid-April after WrestleMania, and then she comes around not being at any regular show since last April of 2019. And it's like it's rehabbing. Of course, I can understand the detriments of like constant recovery, rehabbing, doing a certain work on your body while trying to help that your legs. So I can understand that, even though I had a history of some neck injuries over the time, so and some arm injuries. But those were particularly minor. That was like the elite at least took a few weeks or at least a couple days. Fast healer. But somebody like Nia Jax, she should be trying to condition herself, trying to work hard, lose weight, and she comes around absolutely looking the fucking same except changing her goddamn hair and get liposuction so she doesn't feel fat in the face. And it just doesn't work to me because every time I just see her, she slaps around the ring, even in her Samoan drop that she uses as a particular finisher. It just feels like it's half done, or she's just gonna kill somebody during impact. And it comes into her wrestling ability because she overshoots her moves, and it fucks up and causes injury. Look at Mickey James, Alexa Bliss. As recently, Kairi Sane, if she can move her neck so she can answer your question. Number 9. She is a huge snowflake. She is a huge snowflake. Oh my god. There's wrestlers that, of course, can't take particular criticisms from the fans. I get it. I understand the pressures into you guys work hard nearly every single day to perfect your craft. You're traveling all over the world, and you get all these people disrespecting how you really work. Like some of the guys that I know that wrestle hard and they're not getting the credibility that they do because they're probably not shown that on TV that much and not shown in a pretty good light. And yet, if woman like Nia Jax that comes around literally sucker punching Becky Lynch in the face, and then not even apologizing backstage or anything after legitimately stiffing her out of nowhere. The only thing she would tweet out instead of not like I'm sorry. My fault to Becky Lynch when she had to go down like that, or at least sell it up to at least a particular point that I got her good with a good shot, or even apologize backstage. She didn't even apologize to her backstage. She came around saying, "But my hand is okay." Uh, Nobody was talking about my hand. You fat bitch. Your your diabetes can protect your hand from feeling those injuries. There's just no point of you doing that in the first place. Stiffing a wrestler in the middle of a group shot for no reason, like going JBL to Blue Meanie on her, and then you end up causing her to look red in the face and cost her a big push at a pay-per-view when she was actually getting hyped, when she was actually a top-tier wrestler back in 2018. And now it's fucking 2020 and I want this girl out my TV. But at least back in 2018 to early 2019, she was red hot. And then some idiot wanted to care about Seth Rollins and her dating because they were both champion at the time. Or at least both pushed. And hell, both of them were in a relationship and they both won the Royal Rumble that year. Weird. Number 8. Her lineage. Over her having a relation with, I think, The Rock, being a cousin. It just goes into this weird nepotism point that all because they're children to a Hall of Famer mean fuck all. Look at Curtis Axel. He hasn't done much except win the Intercontinental Championship once. Have a few tag team title reigns in his name, and we forgot that he was part of the Nexus because he was called Michael McGillicuddy. No one cares about Bo Dallas. The Fiend's already losing his steam of popularity since October for that great October night in Hell in a Cell. This is already like his third repackaging. He comes as Husky Harris, he comes as Bray Wyatt, and then he comes as The Fiend. Plus Blues Clues Bray Wyatt. And they still try to stuff us down our throat about him being a really changing main eventer. And yet, he has yet to impress. Most of the matches that end him monotonous, he loses to guys that he shouldn't have lost. And then we have a woman like Nia Jax that takes us to a T that she walked out the fucking company. And yet they were willing to resign her. I'm sorry. She walked out. That means she sold something. What did Nia Jax sell? Tell me a match that you were excited that involved Nia Jax. Not even an NXT takeover match she ever sold, and she feuded with Asuka for that point. But when they were both on NXT. There was no hype factor into that. Asuka alone sells a match. Because she's funny, she's dangerous, she's a cool wrestler to look at, she's attractive. Appealments from female wrestlers, that's what you're gonna get. That's how the day goes. Unless you're catching to the eye, you're not gonna get a lot of butts to the seats. Nia Jax doesn't get this notion. At all. In any case of the word, she epitomizes the absolute notion that because I'm fat, I'm different. Her theme song is "I'm not like most girls because I'm fat," but that's practically it. And most of the Rock's point comes nowhere because I guess all because she's related to a wrestler that actually was successful means that fits for the same person. No, it doesn't. Cody Rhodes didn't equivalent to a world champion. Dustin Rhodes didn't. Most of the other guys haven't except Charlotte Flair because it's Charlotte Flair. That last name means a lot to the business. The wrestling business in general, not just WWE's history. Of course, you're going to make somebody like that a scar. How come Nia Jax hasn't? Because she's an unlikable bitch. Number 6, she's an unlikable bitch. No part of her shouts out, "Hey, I want to hang out with Nia Jax. I want to talk to Nia Jax." Like, most of these women at least have an attractive or at least a friendly demeanor. And that means a lot, especially when you're trying to build up to the women's division. As much as I give Becky Lynch credit, she's an attractive woman. She seems likable to be around. She has this fun factor with her. And she seems nice to anybody she's around. And she shows respect. So does Mandy Rose. You know how beautiful she is. And how much they care about weight, actually, losing weight, and they're willing to change their character. And we've seen Nia Jax, and there's been no, even how much these women, show how much of a bitch they are whenever they're on TV. They're really nice people that do what they have to do for the business and make sure they live their own dream. Nia Jax doesn't get this notion. You walk out the company once, or a few times, she ain't shit. She's just there to try to at least build up that she's a top dog. And then when she's done, she's going to go over the reality TV, probably talking about body positivity. And most of the guys try to give her some sort of support, like a simp they are, over just she's a beautiful BBW. Are you just into fat chicks? Especially emotionally broken ones for some fucking reason. I have no respect for Nia Jax. There's no likability to Nia Jax. Number 5 for promos. Suck. They just suck. They just completely suck ass. There's never been a memorable, a notable, or at least a quotable promo from Nia Jax. And this is coming from, a guy that watches wrestling on a weekly basis. If you don't know, I have a fucking channel what does this crap every week, nearly every week. I miss episodes here and there. But every time I see at least Dana Brooke try to make a promo, as struggling as that one against Charlotte Flair was about making herself a household name, I know that these women try, and they try to put more enthusiasm and shit into their promos. Nia Jax just screams unequivocally, and then comes around trying to make sure that she feels like a big threat but unexpected. That's why the song "I'm Not Like Most," because I'm fat. It's just she just feels, she thinks that she's different. Comes around being intimidated, trying to feel like she's unexpectedly intimidating and shit. And then we forget that she loses to women like Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. Just a lot of women half her size. And yet still, she's getting pushed up to this equivalency that people on commentary, they still try to push her up as the major favorite. When it's a variety of women her size or men that size win the Money in the Bank ladder match. A majority of those guys were midgets. Or Baron Corbin. Nobody wants to remember Baron Corbin won Money in the Bank, because that equated into a man with a 2-inch dick trying to have sex with a woman the next day. And it's not gonna get in. It's not gonna get in with her, bro, ever. And Jesus Christ. Oh man. Number 4. Her wrestling is even worse. Her wrestling. She'll just do clothesline, try to chuck the woman up, have no regard. Look what she did to Alexa Bliss. Keep floating around like a ragdoll, because Alexa Bliss sells. And she didn't care wherever she would toss her. I'm scared whenever I see an apron spot or a buckle spot because of this bitch. At least certain wrestlers like Umaga or Dudley's or any other guys, they work stiff for particular reasons so guys can earn respect and try to build themselves up in the company. Or at least try to make the match feel like more legit. How the fuck you punch somebody by accident for real? I don't get that. That's the dumbest thing. You come around with a miscalculated buckle bomb while Kairi's saying that she's not set, and there's a problem there. That she completely ignores that thing. Because I'm shocked. Wasn't that empty arena? You could have had a powerbomb on the ropes if she said that. And In its empty arena, the only thing that you can hear is Michael Cole's breathing and Tom Phillips trying to masturbate while Nia Jax is entering the ring or something. And Byron Saxton just in existence. You can't tell me that you couldn't hear her saying all that she isn't set. Certain things aside, how do you injure somebody from a assault from the rim? I mean, from the entrance way. Back at like Royal Rumble 2019, she comes around injuring R-Truth. R-Truth. It's like a rarity that I hear that this dude gets pissed off, and he's one of the most liked guys in the locker room. Vince McMahon loves this guy. You come around assaulting him in the number 30 spot of the Royal Rumble just for you to make your appearance. You know how much I popped the time when Randy RKO'd you and you got 619? Nobody cared. It wasn't like the equivalency of Beth Phoenix, because she actually had that likability back then, and she was literally just a second China 2.0, except hotter, and it's hotter in the equivalence of Edge wanting to fuck you, so I guess there's a positive for that. But she'll just do her Samoan drop, she can barely get her leg up. It feels like she pants halfway into the match. They don't feel that legitimate and they're not that fast paced. And she never seems like the actual powerhouse as she is, because we know early in her career in the main roster, she just came around having squash matches. And then later on pay-per-view, she loses to women that were women's champions. Did she lose? Oh my god, I think she lost to Mickie James before. Bayley. One time she got pinned, a few times she got pinned by Asuka, like a lot. And Kairi saying, like, there's no way of getting back from that, and yet they still want to push you. Number 3, she walked out the company. She's a particular quitter, and she's a snowflake. That's a terrible combination. Number 3, number like 2, I think. God, no. She's into criticism. I mean, she's not into criticism at all. She never wants to own up to stuff. Her insecurity doesn't let her. She never wants to own up that she's wrong. He doesn't seem to respect anybody in the business, even in those reality shows. She's never in an opening light. She somehow, after nursing an injury, still comes around trying to play the sympathy card. She comes around like disliking wrestlers for no reason. She doesn't even dislike the newcomer in the business. Because unlike her, she actually is a legitimate fighter. Why do you think she's going to talk shit? And she comes around crying and shit whenever somebody just has an opposite opinion than her. She might just stiff you up for no damn reason. Watch her try to threaten a fan in a few months. I bet that's gonna happen. She's gonna come out of nowhere, and she comes around like breaking the neck of Kairi Sane again, and yet somebody just says you're a terrible human being for what you did. You didn't even apologize, and she's gonna be like, "Want me to do the same thing to you?" And you think might think that's bad, good heel work. No, that's you being a douchebag. Number 1, she's a horrible human being. There hasn't been one instance that Nia Jax actually wanted to be nice. There's been no thing of her being charitable. There's been no thing that she ever cared about the other person. I've literally been seeing her on wrestling for the last 4 years, and there's been no equivalence of Nia Jax actually feeling like, she cares about other people other than herself, or that she wants to improve herself. And self-improvement means a lot to me. It really does. I don't believe in religion that much and all that crap. I believe in self-improvement and trying to make sure you're the best come the next day. And the next full-on evolution. And I see a person like Nia Jackson, I feel like she's never going to change how she behaves. She's never going to actually be a nice person. on the other days. She has no respect for the business. She seems like she doesn't wrestle. Her theme song sucks. She doesn't seem to have respect for any other females on the roster the way that she has been having this history and the way she even reacts to the feedback, or at least how she does the accidents that happen in the ring. To this I say, Nia Jax, I don't respect you. I want you to get better. I want everybody on the roster to get better. But you know how sad it is when this shit happens. People care about what happens to the other wrestler than yourself actually beating them up. And I don't know why Vince keeps you in the company, other than nepotism reasons, in the way he can just get a quick butt on the family, a family of a famous wrestling family for some apparent reason, because Vince doesn't know how to actually make homegrown talent anymore. And he's just desperate to keep anybody in this point because last time he released 37 people. So in that equivalency, Nia Jax, you're one of the survivors. Because if it was up to me, I'd fire your ass. I would keep Tamina because at least she has a long stint in the business. She has respect for most of the women. You don't. You're a heartless bitch, and I hope you really fix yourself in the coming months or at least years. I don't know how long it takes. I just want you to be a better person. That's it coming from me.